So I'm standing in line at my local coffee spot, right? Same squeaky floorboards, same barista who calls everyone boss, when I realized that I'm actually juggling two different debit cards, a travel card and one of those kind of half melted gift cards that's probably worth 11 cents. Now my pocket feels like a loose change kind of orchestra, and then it hits me. Why am I still swiping like it's 2015 when my crypto is supposed to be the future? So I hold that thought for a second because a single tweet from 𝗗𝗀𝗀𝗰 just appended my coffee soaking morning. So picture this, a community built Cardano card that doesn't just let you spend ADA, but actually fattens your Cardano, or at least the Cardano Treasury, every single time that you even tap it. And yeah, every croissant, every concert ticket, or late night taco crawl pumps fuel back into the very blockchain that we're rooting for. So I thought loyalty programs were pretty clever, but this is borderline poetic. So there I am, right? Still waiting for my flat white, scrolling through 𝗗𝗀𝗀𝗰's thread. First feature that jumps off the screen is global spending, right? Bitcoin, Solana, USDC, USDT, load them up and swipe anywhere a normal card gigs, right? And there's no weird point of sale wizardry here, just please insert or tap. And get this, while you're living your life, your ADA balance is quietly staking, earning rewards like a passive kind of side hustle that doesn't nag you about your deadlines. Now, if you're the kind who hates kind of selling tops just to afford an impromptu kind of beach trip, well, the card's got ADA-backed loans in stablecoins. Quick liquidity without dumping your bags, right? Chef's kiss. I almost kind of shouted, shut up and take my money. But then I remembered I'd literally be borrowing my own. Cue the contradiction number one then, right? I used to be the guy who rolled his eyes at crypto cards. I figured, great, another gimmick with neon graphics. But the moment that I read profits following back to the treasury, my eyebrow did that kind of cartoon arc. This isn't charity, it's actually circular economics, right? Without the supermarket, there becomes a bit of an act of network growth, right? Now, my inner kind of cynic, needed a little bit of a timeout. And when I thought that the espresso high was kicking in, 𝗗𝗀𝗀𝗰 drops the bomb, right? Community designed artwork on the physical card, crowdsourced colors, pixel placement, even the front of the ADA logo voted on by holders. It's kind of like if your old student ID were minted by a DAO and had utility beyond a bad hallway photo. But I am getting ahead of myself here, right? Apple Pay and Google Pay compatibility roll out first, followed by real-world asset yield card phase, right? So imagine staking yields on tokenized real estate while buying concert merch. Now, my brain is low-key screaming here, but in a really happy way, like hearing your favorite 90s song in surround sound. All right, here's a quick pause, check on the numbers, because you know how I love receipts, right? Now, ADA is cruising around 73 cents at the point of recording. It's up roughly 25 or so percent, I think, in the week, even after a little tiny kind of 1% pullback in this morning. Now, open interest, it did just slip by 4% to, I think, $1.19 billion, while open volume practically napped at around $6.5 thousand. The translation there is that traders are catching their breath here, but spot holders clearly like the roadmap. And speaking of roadmaps, let's sprinkle in just a little Reeve. That's the shiny financial reporting tool that the Cardano Foundation just rolled out. Now, corporations can pipe their data straight into the blockchain, kiss audit nightmares goodbye, and flex transparency like a badge of honor. Now, no more Excel sheets doing limbo under version numbers. Every kind of figure is as tamper-proof as a tattoo. Now, that sneaky little badge between suits and hoodies is if you kind of ask me, right? Now, enterprises get rock-solid ledgers, and we get adoption without sacrificing decentralization. It's funny how a boring kind of word like reporting suddenly feels adventurous once it's actually on-chain. Now, before we kind of march deeper down this rabbit hole, This one might just shock you, but I'm not a financial advisor and nothing in this video is financial advice, right? Cryptocurrencies, they are highly volatile and you could lose all of the money that you invest. So it's very important that you do your own research and consult a qualified professional. After all, right, your investments are entirely, guess what? Your responsibility. And you should know that nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to investing. Neither I, this channel, nor YouTube are liable for any losses. And this video today is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Now, I'm glad that we got that squared away. Let's get back to the good stuff. And here is the kicker, right? Talking about, right? At least nobody's talking about, which is self-custody integration on the Cardano card, right? Your private keys, they stay yours. There's no sneaky custody clause buried 12 paragraphs deep here. Swipe freedom without the kind of not your keys, not your crypto dread, right? And it's not like wearing a seatbelt that kind of also messages or massages your kind of shoulders here. It is really that simple. And because community matters, remember our free educational Discord server. Yep, the link that's in the description. We dissect updates like this in real time. We run AMA sessions and trade the occasional dad joke, right? The door is open and the coffee's virtual, zero cover charge included. Now, speaking of plugs that actually do pay the bills, if you're scooping up ADA or testing out new kind of altcoin pairs, then well, I'm doing it on Kraken Pro, right? The same platform, the same kind of nerdy charts, but you get to use my affiliate link that's down below, right? Now, Kraken Pro, it does throw a few pennies our way and it costs you absolutely nothing extra. It's pretty neat, right? Okay, so the big question. Why should you or anyone actually care that a kind of portion of card profits drip back to the treasury? So you got to think of it, or at least think of the treasury, I guess, as Cardano's community war chest, right? The more funds, the more it kind of means the better grants that you get, the better DApps that could be developed, the better incentives to lure devs out of their JavaScript caves. It's the kind of crowd-funded innovation at swipe speed. And who remembers when airlines introduced points and accidentally created a loyalty arms race, right? That's the sort of thing of what's actually about to happen here, but for blockchain ecosystems. Swipe, stake, treasury fattens, developers rejoice, feedback loop spins faster than a kid on a merry-go-round, powered, of course, by sugar. But now, for kind of mild contradiction number 2. Now, I used to brag about never needing a bank card ever again because I had MetaMask and big dreams. Reality check. Merchants still live in point of sale land, right? Bridging worlds matters, and Cardano's card is that bridge with toll fees paid to us, not some corporate overlord. So let me kind of paint a scene. It's 2026, right? You're at a food truck in Lisbon, say. You tap your yield card, snagging a kind of pastel de nata. In the background, the stablecoin loan that you pulled last week is auto rebalancing, and a slice of that transaction is seeded, at least just seeded, a grant for a decentralized climate data oracle. That's kind of finance doing cartwheels. Now, of course, skeptics will ask, what about fees? Now, Emurgo hasn't blasted rates on a billboard just yet, but early hints suggest competitive spreads and the possibility of zero fee staking. So if they do land that, well, Visa and MasterCard might actually need a spa day to kind of de-stress. But let's kind of riff off the timing then, right? Virtual and physical cards drop first half of next year. Multi-chain support follows so that you can waltz between ecosystems, a bit like a foodie, hopping between food stores. By Q3, the yield card debuts with real-world asset tokenization, so think farmland, rental property shares, maybe even music royalties. And we've been talking about tokenizing reality for ages, right? Now, of course, we're kind of sliding into your literal pocket with it. And if this all feels a little too sci-fi, remember, Reeve is already live and logging enterprise data. Right, we're not talking vaporware here. We're talking spreadsheets evolving like Pokemon. The Cardano Foundation just published its 2024 financials directly through Reeve, right? Public, verifiable, and of course, immutable, right? Try faking an expense receipt on that ledger, my friend. Okay, let's pause for a breather here. And yeah, we're buzzing, through kind of bullet point, or at least bullet trains, I guess, of information here, right? So let's grab some water and stretch your neck a little bit, right? And here is a small fun fact or stat. Community engagement around the card announcement pushed Charles Hoskinson's reply on X past 50,000 likes in just 12 hours. That's not just a vanity metrics. It kind of gauges retail kind of curiosity, right? Momentum like that can foreshadow user signups faster than you can say where airdrop. And speaking of airdrops, the card hands out exclusive ones to its active users. Swipe to qualify. It's loyalty without the dusty kind of punch card. And I might finally actually get rewarded for my unholy coffee habit then. All right. Let's address the security, because nothing kind of kills a party faster than a hacked wallet, right? Now, Emergo's pilot program will reportedly integrate multi-sig and biometric confirmation for bigger spends. So picture fingerprint plus PIN plus your mum's birthday quiz, right? Now that's level of redundancy kind of makes Fort Knox blush. So where do we, the everyday ADA holders, fit into all of this big puzzle? Well, we're early passengers, right? Using the card funnels value back. It spikes on-chain activity and rises demand pressure for ADA. Sure, price will course bob and weave. That's kind of what markets do. But utility tends to outwit short-term noise. And if you're wondering, does a coffee purchase really move the needle? Remember, Coinbase once tweeted that 60% of customers shift from trading into real-world usage within 6 months. Now, multiply that by Cardano's global community and continued staking yield, well, micro value adds up faster than loose change in a couch. Let's swing back to Reeve for just one hot minute here as well, because enterprises adopting blockchain reporting means regulators see actually a tangible use case that's not just purely speculative. Right? It defangs the crypto is just funny money narrative. When auditors can validate data with a click, trust climbs, and trust is the rocket fuel from time to time. By now, of course, you're probably rounding third base of our story. I kind of started cynically, right? Judging too many kind of plastic, rectangles, and I'm ending genuinely hyped about swiping a single card that stakes, lends, rewards, and kickbacks value to the ecosystem that I actually believe in. How's that for a bit of a plot twist? Now, here's a quick reminder. If you've got questions, hit that Discord server, because our mods love spreadsheets and memes in equal measure. And if you're hunting for deep liquidity pairs, well, my go-to remains Kraken Pro. The affiliate link below helps the channel at no cost to yourself. So I'm going to wrap with a bit of a friendly dare then. Next time that you reach for your legacy card, ask yourself whether that swipe builds anything bigger than reward points that expire faster than avocados. With Cardano's card, every tap could actually underwrite the next generation of DeFi tools and maybe fund the open source dev who kind of cracks the scalability wall. Now, if any of that sounds interesting, make sure to subscribe for more, and why don't you check out the video that is queuing up right over there.